Hello, and welcome to today's new video project. Topic of discussion today is going to be involving black people, or otherwise as African Americans, and their involvement within the alternative Gothic subculture, culture, however you want to perceive it as. Everyone has their own different interpretations and perspectives. And there has been, as of recent, a rather pathetic controversy surrounding African Americans to be a part of this culture. And I could honest to God say, as myself being a minority, yes, born and raised in Tokyo, Japan, I myself, 3/4 more Japanese than German, and I've always been a minority, regardless of where I have traveled to, regardless of who I've met, and regardless of anything in the world. I still will remain a minority. I am proud of my heritage, my culture, my lineage. I am proud of the essence of who I am as a human being. And while I'm not everyone's cup of tea, I honest to God care less, as long as I believe in myself and the universe provides onto me what I provide onto it. The law of manifestation, the law of attraction, is very much a reality. And anything you put your mind into reality, it becomes your reality. It becomes your present as well as your future. Anyway, this video is not about myself. It's more of minorities, whether it being myself as an Asian, or a black man, or Hispanic, or what have you. We each have our own sense of belonging, our own purpose, our own designed nature within ourselves to belong and to be accepted, or at least the concept that you would expect to be accepted in the mold of today's modern society. However, as you know, society is very much corrupted and very much disintegrated, and I shouldn't say digitalized. Maybe technology, or the concept of construct of our own nature, our own perceptions of ourselves or the world around us, and whatever you think of it as, it is your reality. And I've always believed in coexistence. Everything that I encompass to the philosophy and the ideology of creating this particular channel, of channeling my emotions and spiritual consciousness through my art, which is like acting, voice acting, fire dancing, being an author, a poet, a philosopher, a visionary, a wayseer, and manifesting as myself being an actor and musician. I embody everything for a sacred purpose, a purpose that is ultimately greater than myself. Nothing that I ever do is all for myself. It is more for the benefit of helping the ascension and greater awakening in the eyes of humanity around us. And I've always found myself to be a balance. And there's so much beauty to be discovered and cherished, embraced within the darkness of beauty, and our beauty of imperfections ultimately is perfection. I find so much beauty to be cultivated and shared among the reality of ourselves and within one another. And there's so much beauty to be found in the darkness as well as the light. And I have so many black friends of mine that are very much individuals, very much embraced in the nature of their own art, their own purpose or meaning. They have found meaning, they have found purpose and light within the darkness, and darkness within light. They've found a sense of comfort. They found who they are, as well as myself. Thus, being a minority, at the same time of being an individual, embracing your deeper craft into the macabre, the dark beauty of life and cosmic energies. If you are very much someone who is into spirituality, you understand what I am referring to. Myself, I am also a shamanic practitioner, and a sense of purpose, you know, a sense of belonging among the dead than you would find among the living. And I've always been one to enjoy the macabre. I have been involved in this particular culture since I was 12, 13 years of age. And with that being said, the graveyards, the full moon, the moon, astrology of the stars, the infinite universe, the occult, magic, spirituality in general, the paranormal, investigating and researching metaphysical and things that cannot quite be explained by science. All of the traits and the characteristics of this culture and within art in general that I found so fascinating, that I found a sense of sanctuary. And thus, it has become my own meditation, my own safe haven, my own place of heaven, if you will, among planet Earth. So, I wanted to say that if you are someone who is a minority, as myself, if you are indeed a black woman, a black man, Asian woman, Indian, Middle Eastern, what have you, I could honest to God care less. Alright, allow me to tell you this, is that you are an absolute gorgeous, beautiful human being. You have an incredible soul to yourself. You are the light that is going to ultimately open the minds and ascension and awakenings of modern mankind and for the future of mankind. So we are the catapult, we are the catalyst, we are the ones to ultimately help the world towards ascension of our planet. And it's not just us as minorities, it's everyone as a collective consciousness of cultures together that bind and bond together to create greatness towards a future of the world. And you are an amazing human being. I have a lot of admiration and respect for you, and thank you for being who you are. There are not enough people in the world to actually embrace our own individuality. Rather, instead, we are seen or misconceived, mislabeled, and misjudged. And the normality of society seemed to have held a notion, a false notion, or preconceived notions of us, and rather than to put aside our differences and to work together and embrace our equality as we're meant and supposed to do originally as human beings, the normals of society would rather judge who we are without even the incentive to get to know who we are first. And thus this happens all too often, not just among our culture, however among just about everything, just about everywhere. So, like I said, you are an amazing human being. You are absolutely divine, and never surrender who you are. Never for a moment stop believing in yourself. The moment you stop believing in yourself, or to be proud of your individualism, is the day that you lose art, the meaning and aesthetics of art, its purpose, its nature, and you lose sight of yourself. You lose sight of everything around you. Reality in itself will perceive to ultimately fall apart. And there's, you know, there's this thing, some kind of controversy as of recent, saying that like there's some racist people within just everywhere in general. And unfortunately there are some elitists, some people who are part of this particular, you know, Gothic culture, who are indeed white, who are indeed racist, intolerant, who are bigots, who are judgmental, and they absolutely cannot stand people like us, minorities who are very much a part of this culture. And it's absolutely degrading. It's absolutely disgusting and pathetic. There should absolutely be no reason for it in the entire universe. And rather, we should actually learn how to embrace one another, to be a part of our own concentration of our conscience together, and thus to create a greater world, you know, and a greater world for ourselves in that process. Though the particular racist people saying that we should not be a part of this culture from a racist perspective, that us as minorities, we should not be involved as a part of this culture, because originally the Gothic culture originally derived from England and is all mostly European based, white people, and I find that absolutely disgusting. If you have that ideology and that philosophy, then you should be absolutely degraded, and you should be ashamed to be a human being. And even despite being a misanthropic myself, I still try to see the best in human beings in general. However, this manifestation of the world is so corrupt, it's unbelievable. So, my name is Cody Gremlin. Thank you so much for watching. And like I said, if you are a minority, continue to believe in yourself, to continue to be who you are, and be a part of this culture regardless of who you are. And you're absolutely awesome. I know there's so many people who would try to judge and belittle and degrade us for who we are and our involvement within a culture, and if that's not bad enough, then to be a minority within a culture and you get judged even more. So no, thank you so much. My name is Cody Gremlin. Please subscribe, share, like, favorite, comment, leave your feedback, reach out to me anytime you want, and I hope that this video you had found some sort of introspection, clarification, inspiration from it, and well, at least a clarification from my perspective for those of you who never met me or will have met me, for a future perspective. And yes, so thank you, and continue to be who you are. And you know, since I was 13 years or 12, 13 years of age, I've always been into like rock and roll and metal, and I find it the most inspirational thing. I find it the most awesome thing that you can find black people in metal and rock and roll music, industrial, gothic, whatever, like punk rock. It doesn't matter. It absolutely does not matter. You define who you are as a human being, and you should continue to embrace yourself. You need to embrace yourself. And if you do not believe in yourself, well, you need to. Because so much of what the majority percentage of the human population of the world, they do not believe in themselves. They do not see themselves worthy of anything. And they absolutely care so much of what others in the world around them has to think or say about them, or about us as minorities. And this is just in general, okay? This is just in general. And if you're a victim of bullying, I'm truly sorry. I myself was a victim of bullying growing up in the educational systems, simply for being different. However, that quickly faded after a while, and I've actually found my place of acceptance, even despite that I may be a antisocial or a loner, a lone wolf all throughout the duration of my life. I still find peace and solidarity within. So thank you, and farewell.